When you drive a Chevy, it's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, brought to you by Lyona Laborers Local 663, who remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Also presented by the Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. We go north to Savannah High School, and friend of the show, head football coach Anthony Hayes. And Coach, you've got to appear on the show at least 3 times to be a friend of the show. So
Yeah.
You've done that multiple times going back years ago.
Yeah.
Now, Coach Hayes, thanks for being part of it.
Yeah. I think we've way surpassed 3 probably at this point.
And we're probably close to 20.
I bet. Every time I get to talk to you, it reminds me of my time in Southwest Missouri. Those were good times at Parkview and Branson. And so it's good to talk to you, Guy.
Hey, you bet. Always good to catch up with you, Coach. And first off, tell us a little bit about 7-4 a year ago. What are you having to replace due to graduation, and maybe who are some of the folks stepping into those roles?
Yeah, we're really proud of our guys. It was my second year last year. The year before, we were 10-2 and made it to the district championship. Won the MEC conference championship, and then last year we got bumped up to Class 4 and made it to the semifinals and lost to eventual state champion Kearney. But man, we were within a score in the fourth quarter with them. We were their closest game in the playoffs, and I think it gave our kids some confidence that hey, if we could go toe to toe with a team of that caliber for 3.5 quarters, 3 quarters plus, then we could go play with anybody. And so we have a good core group coming back from that team. We got kids like Landon Nolan and Cooper Burnsides that were both all-state defenders. One was Nolan was is a linebacker, and Cooper Burnside's 2-time all-state defensive lineman. They're coming back anchoring our defense along with 5-6 other starters on that side of the ball. I mean, we could put 8 to 9 guys on the field that played a significant amount of time. Gage Bolin, Landon Nolan, Cooper Burnside, Cooper Swan. There's a group, Kel Bechtold, that Sawyer Sprague, that we're excited about. We had a string last year where we had 4 straight shutouts defensively, and we have the core of that group back. We feel like the defense is going to be the backbone of our team, and those kids work hard. They're 3 years in our system. Coach Caleb Wiley does a great job as our defensive coordinator. Those kids have bought in. So really excited about that side of the ball. Offensively, our starting quarterback was a sophomore last year, Aiden Knechtenhofer. He's back. So are a couple of our top receivers from last year. Jaden Martinez, I think, is going to have a great year. Max Howe. Jackson Segrist was kind of a change-up back for us last year, had a few hundred yards rushing, 5 or 6 touchdowns. He was the secondary back between our all-state guy, Cade Chappelle, but he got some good experience. So all that to say, we got a lot of familiar faces coming back, and we're coming off two winning seasons, and we're hoping that momentum in year 3 here in Savannah for me is going to be a special one.
Coach, as you look at over the summer, what do you guys do over the summer? 7-on-7s. What's the attendance been like?
That's one thing that stuck out to me when I first got here. I don't have to pull teeth to get kids to show up in the summer. We do 6:30 a.m. workouts. We're lifting. We're running. We have some 7-on-7 we do at Missouri Western on Wednesday evenings in the summer, and the kids are there. I'm not calling kids or picking kids up. If I say we have football, the kids show up and they're ready to work, and that's an awesome thing about Savannah, Missouri. It's a football town, and the kids are bought in.
As you head into the Jamboree, first off, where is it and who's a part of it, and what are some goals that you have? I know you've got just a handful of kids you got to replace, and maybe you're trying to bring in some underclassmen and see if they're going to be able to play under those Friday night lights. But obviously, goal number 1 would be stay healthy. But as you head into that, first off, where is it? Who's a part of it? And what are some of the goals?
Well, last year we asked to be part of the St. Joseph City Jamboree, which is kind of a fun tradition with St. Joe Central, St. Joe Lafayette, St. Joe Benton, and it was typically with St. Joe LeBlanc. And so the 4 St. Joe schools for for 50 plus years had a jamboree at Missouri Western. LeBlanc has since moved to 8-man, and so we felt like part of our school district overlaps into St. Joe, and so we felt like, hey, we could be a natural fit to play a really cool atmosphere game at Missouri Western, which is where Chiefs training camp is. It's a pretty cool environment, and with 4 local teams all in the St. Joe area, it's packed. I mean, it is. Pratt Stadium is completely packed, and so we were part of that last year. We're going to be part of it again tomorrow night, and I like it because it's a really fun atmosphere for our kids. It's a really it's a Friday night vibe that you would have on a big Friday football game, and so there's some excitement there. As far as goals, you hit it already. You want to get out healthy, number one, but it's important that you get some quality reps. We haven't had a really great chance once we started 2 weeks ago. The first week you're in half pads, no pads. We all have our scrimmages, probably on Saturday, this past Saturday. But inter squad scrimmages aren't the same as when you're hitting a different color jersey. So I think we added some quality reps in and get acclimated to game speed before we play against a really good Pleasant Hill team next Friday.
Again, visiting with Savannah head football coach Anthony Hayes. And Coach, with regards to your schedule, compare last year to this year's schedule, very similar, or has it changed at all?
Exact same schedule, except we actually had a game in Ozark, Missouri against Portageville. Portageville was a state semifinal team out of the Boot Hill, and we opened up with them in a non-con last year. We both were looking for a game desperately. We were the only people I felt with open weeks in the state, and so we met up, and we both were quality football teams, and it was a shootout game. We found somebody a little closer. We're going to open up with Pleasant Hill week 1, so that's really the only new team on our schedule this year. As you probably know, Pleasant Hills has had a great run over the last few years. I believe they were a quarterfinal team last year, semifinal team 2 years ago. They're also a Class 4 team, kind of on the lower enrollment side like we are. It's a great opening week matchup, potentially against 2 top 10 teams in the state. It'll be a test right out the gate. I like that. It's a challenge. You want to see where your kids are at. And really, it gives you kind of that playoff atmosphere right out the gate, and so we're excited to have that. We have a brand new press box, brand new turf. It's a game that's going to be at our place. There's going to be a lot of excitement, so I'm really looking forward to that first Friday night.
Outstanding. Coach, if you could talk about something that right now you're pretty comfortable with. You mentioned you got a lot of guys on the defensive side coming back. What are some areas maybe not really concerned, but what are some areas maybe where early in the season that's going to test you a little bit?
Yeah, we have a couple new faces on the offensive line. Every year, regardless of returners or whatever, the offensive line, that's a lot of work. You got 5 guys working in unison. You got to teach them communication skills up front and adapting to different fronts. And so that's probably every year. Week 1, is that offensive line ready to go? Are they ready to communicate? Get us in the right blocking schemes. Especially we've got a couple sophomores on there, and those guys are working that out. So we have some spots that we got to fill in the secondary, a couple spots at receiver with some graduation, new faces in the backfield. So you're excited about some of these young guys that maybe had really great freshman, sophomore years on the JV team, and so they're going to get to see how they react in the Friday night lights, and hopefully the lights aren't too big, and they'll eventually settle in, but it's a roller coaster when it starts.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time. And like I said, we've spoke probably 20 or 30 times over the past decade, and I really appreciate you always being accommodating. And best of luck as we go on. And I know we'll talk to you throughout the season.
Hey, Guy, I always appreciate you, man. Anytime you want to talk football, just let me know.
You bet. You bet. Savannah head football coach Anthony Hayes here on the Missouri Sports Network. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
Your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support.